Hello and welcome to another edition of Jamaica Magazine. I'm Adrian Atkinson and I'll be your guide on today's journey. We have an informative and engaging program lined up just for you.
According to the Jamaica Public Service Company, the average cost of electricity is $65 per kilowatt hour. A refrigerator is essential in every household, but what's the cost of keeping it plugged in all day? For a 15 to 18 cubic foot inverter refrigerator running 24 hours a day, that's 64 kilowatt hours per month, which adds up to $3,900 on your light bill. Now, compare that to a regular 18 cubic foot refrigerator, it consumes about 86 kilowatt hours, costing you $5,590 monthly. Got a bigger fridge? A 26 cubic foot inverter model uses up to 108 kilowatt hours, costing $7,020 each month just to keep it cool. Just a tip, always check the energy rating before you buy. Inverter models save more in the long run.
Thank you so much for staying with us right here on Jamaica Magazine. I know it's early summer days, but the temperature is soaring, and for many households, this means higher electricity bills. Before the heat reaches your wallet, let's explore practical ways to manage your energy use.
In the heart of the Caribbean, where sun-soaked beaches meet bustling city life, this time of year Jamaicans face a revolving challenge: managing their energy bills.
Nowadays, the electricity is mostly committed to cooling, or you could say running motors. So during the summer months, there is a lot more need for cooling ourselves. So running fans, running AC, and there's a lot more thirst for water. They want their lawns to be maintained, they want their crops to stay healthy, so we use a lot more water also.
As temperatures soar, so do electricity expenses, leaving households searching for solutions. Here are some practical tips and considerations to help navigate through the heat without burning through your budget.
Many young people are not at school, and so the homes are more occupied in the summer generally. So we need to kind of encourage a culture of going outside more. And somebody may say, but outside is hot. But we have to find ways of enjoying the outdoors and not always be inside. Because when you're inside, usually what are the young people doing? Watching TV or on a laptop or so forth. And all those things will contribute to higher energy. And of course, you have to keep the room that you're in cool. And sometimes that's not properly managed.
It's vital to unplug idle electronics, as many off devices still sip power.
We think that because you press the off button, that your device, your appliance is not using power. But these days you have a lot of smart devices that have to stay alive pretty much, even though you have turned it off, and that will use power. And it may seem like a little bit of power, but we say one cocoa full basket. So a lot of these devices all combined together can cause your power to go up, your power consumption to go up.
Strategic planting can cool your home, though hurricane concerns must be considered.
We can't say you should always have trees, because there's also the concern of hurricane season. The hurricane season coincides with the summer, right, the hottest time. So we have to, in a very careful way, see how we can use vegetation in a way that can help in cooling the environment of your home or around your home, but at the same time doesn't increase the hazards that will come because of the hurricane season.
Choosing between airy linen and sweat-absorbing cotton can also boost the summer comfort.
So linen is a very light fabric, and it's very airy. Especially in a drier climate, not very humid climate, it's very comfortable. Even in a hot environment, it can still feel comfortable. Cotton is the other one, and cotton is one that will absorb the sweat from your body, and then the sweat will then evaporate from the cotton fiber. And when it does, it actually makes you feel a lot cooler, almost like a natural air condition. You can isolate your movement in your home So if you have to be indoors, stay in a certain room, keep that room cool. You don't have to keep the whole house cool. Or if you have to go from room to room, you can change the temperature to something that you can tolerate.
By focusing on key areas and making smart choices, you can create a cooler and more comfortable living space.
They can ensure that on those south-facing wall, east-facing wall, and your west-facing wall, that you use thicker curtains at your windows. Another thing to do is that if they can apply a reflective coating, like a film or even a tint on the windows, and they might be able to exploit that strategy, ensuring that you're not using a unit to cool a space that it is not sized for. Some people might choose to only have an air conditioning installed for the bedrooms. Don't try to use it to cool the bedroom and the living room and the kitchen and all the other and the entire house.
Innovative technologies are also on the market, offering new ways to manage energy usage and costs effectively.
These days, these include smart devices that have timers on them, which you can schedule them to turn on and turn off. Devices, occupancy sensors, for example, that can see when somebody is in a room and turn on. And there may be even more sophisticated ones that can sense how many people are in the room.
Managing energy bills during the summer is essential for staying cool and cost-effective. Next time the summer heat feels overwhelming, remember these steps to keep your energy usage in check.
In the event of an earthquake, it's important to know how to protect yourself no matter where you are. Whether you're driving or using a wheelchair, being prepared can make all the difference.
If you're driving, you don't go driving under your overpass, you don't go driving over a bridge, because those can be interrupted, especially if you're having a major event. Persons using wheelchair, you lock those in place. You normally lock the wheels in place, and you do the similar crouching to try to protect the most vital part of your body, which is your head.
Remember, safety is always a priority. Be prepared, stay informed, and protect yourself in times of need.
In today's connected world, some of our most valuable possessions aren't physical, they are digital. Here are some important tips on safeguarding your personal information and reducing your risk in an increasingly digital age.
People often share personal information without realizing, whether it's their name, address, photos, or even live location. As sharing becomes second nature, protecting personal information must be prioritized.
Your data is the new hot commodity. Everybody needs your data to not only inform AI, but also create technologies and other digital solutions that can help you. Your data also informs whether you get a job or even a credit card. So protecting your data is important because it means ultimately protecting you.
Once exposed, your information can be misused in ways that directly affect your safety, finances, and future opportunities.
We are now in the information age where everybody wants to share information, but it's important to note that whatever you share goes into the public domain. You can't take it back. Being mindful of not just the things you share, but how you share it as well is important, because your potential employers are looking at that kind of thing. Be careful not to post certain images. After a while, delete those images. Do not share certain things like your live location. Don't spontaneously complete different questionnaires or surveys about yourself.
One of the most common errors people make is reusing the same password across multiple platforms.
So sometimes, for example, the same password that you use for your banking apps, the same password you use for your social media apps. This exposes individuals because if a hacker gets a hold of one password, they get a hold of all the other passwords.
Oversharing personal details, downloading suspicious apps that promise rewards, and clicking unknown links are other frequent missteps that expose users to data breaches.
So you're out for dinner and people know what you ate, where you went, how long you spent. It's important that people are careful in the amount of information that they share. Also, be careful not to download suspicious apps that make promises about certain rewards that you can get, whether monetary or otherwise.
And be mindful of saving your banking details on online shopping platforms.
Ensure as well that they do not subscribe to shopping websites that are too good to be true. They often tell you, oh, if you're a first-time shopper, you get 50% off, 75% off. Be careful as well not to save your password and profile information to the device that you use to shop online as well.
Also, be on guard when using public Wi-Fi, which, though convenient, is risky.
The challenge with public Wi-Fi is that it does not have the protection that you would have, for example, in your home Wi-Fi. Under the Data Protection Act, you have a right to 1. Prevent processing, object to direct marketing, 3. Object to automated decision-making, rectify any information that a data controller has about you that is incorrect, and also you have a right to access information that a data controller has about you. In the event that a data subject suspects that their data is being misused, it is advised that they first make a report to the data protection officer affixed to the organization in question. However, if no positive steps are taken to remedy this misuse, they can escalate the matter by making a report at the Office of the Information Commissioner. That is the oversight body in relation to data protection. We underestimate the power of information, and sometimes when we share, we don't think about where it can end up and how it can affect us in the future. But it is important to acknowledge that your data is your responsibility, and therefore you must do all you can to protect it.
Did you know that all employees are entitled to paid public holidays? Yes, under the Holidays with Pay order, enforced by the Ministry of Labor and Social Security, there are 4 categories of paid benefits: holidays with pay, sick leave with pay, gratuity, and sick leave benefit. And do you want to know who is entitled? Me and any employee except casual workers who have worked at least 110 days per year with the same employer. Also, if you work between 110 and 220 days, you earn 1 day of leave for every 22 days worked. Employees who work more than 220 days in a year are entitled to 2 weeks of vacation leave. And if you've been with the same employer for more than 10 years and have worked over 220 days in the year, you qualify for 3 weeks of vacation leave. So, know your rights and take your rest.
The lives of residents in the eastern end of the island continue to be impacted by infrastructural developments, improved access to health services, and skills development for our youth. Let's take a look.
Welcome to Eastern Roundup. Clock it!
Hello, I'm your host, Michaela Anderson Gordon. Coming up, Nearly 900 housing solutions slated for multi-billion-dollar Roselle Estate development. Rehabilitated roadway in St. Mary expected to strengthen heritage tourism and community development. Residents in Gale, St. Mary benefit from free dental services. Labor Day projects out east to revitalize public spaces and improve community facilities. And St. Thomas Technical High School explores skills-based career options for students. Let's get into it. Prime Minister Dr. the Most Honorable Andrew Holness has broken ground for the Roselle Estate development in St. Thomas. The $9.6 billion project will deliver 895 one- and two-bedroom housing solutions through a partnership with the National Housing Trust and New Roselle Properties Limited. Dr. Holness says the government remains focused on expanding access to affordable housing.
So what this government has decided to do is that we are going to outcompete the squatters. We're going to bring more housing solutions to the market at a faster pace, more affordable, and more accessible.
The development, located along the Paul Bogle Highway, is expected to be completed within 24 to 36 months and forms part of efforts to support growth in the rapidly developing parish. Meanwhile, in St. Mary, improved road infrastructure is expected to boost heritage tourism and create opportunities for rural communities. The $27.5 million rehabilitation of the Fontabelle to Geddestown Road, funded by the Tourism Enhancement Fund, enhances access to attractions such as Sun Valley Plantation and the historic Tamarind Great House. Tourism Minister Honorable Edmund Bartlett says authentic cultural experiences are central to Jamaica's tourism appeal.
What authenticates their visit is the indelible memory and the physical manifestation of the creative expressions of the people of Jamaica.
Also in St. Mary, hundreds of residents recently benefited from a dental outreach initiative aimed at improving oral health outcomes in rural communities. Approximately 500 students and residents from Gale and neighboring communities received free dental services through the Great Shape Inc. Sealant Dental Program, facilitated by the Sandals Foundation and the Ministry of Health and Wellness. Minister without portfolio in the Ministry of Economic Growth and Infrastructure Development, with responsibility for land titling and settlements, and Member of Parliament for St. Mary Weston, Honorable Robert Montague, welcomed the initiative and commended Sandals for its continued contribution to community development through employment and support for farmers.
Sandals also is an incubator because they do take on apprentices and interns and train them and certify them with hard trust.
Labor Day activities across eastern Jamaica focused on improving public facilities and strengthening community spirit. In St. Mary, volunteers revitalized Clemhart's Park in Port Maria through beautification works and tree planting. Portland's Labor Day project focused on constructing a new ticketing booth at Carter Park to improve safety and reduce congestion during sporting events. And in St. Thomas, residents and volunteers helped establish a new post office in Cedar Valley, replacing a structure that had served the community for more than 4 decades. The projects were undertaken under the theme One People, One Purpose in all things Jamaica wins. Still in St. Thomas, students at St. Thomas Technical High School recently explored a range of skills-based career opportunities during their Triple Impact Day. Representatives from government agencies, training institutions, and private sector organizations engaged students through interactive displays and demonstrations. Acting Principal Rochelle Taylor Brown says the initiative was intentional.
We were purposeful in getting entities that really showcase the skill areas because as a technical high school, we want our students to gravitate toward that area, and that's the way the world is going today, skills.
The event also highlighted the importance of positive behavior, creativity, and career readiness among the student population.
And that's it for this edition of Eastern Roundup. For more information on these and other stories, visit our website, jis.gov.jm. Until next time, I'm your host, Michaela Anderson Gordon. Thanks for watching.
The summer holiday for children is their time to rest and have fun. But as parents and guardians, it is our duty to ensure they don't lose sight of the knowledge learned in school. Here are some tips to help keep your little ones entertained while at home. Spend time cooking together. Cooking is a lifelong skill. It doesn't hurt teaching your child how to find their way around the kitchen and prepare simple yet filling meals. But remember, safety first. Have your child read for at least 30 minutes a day. Yes, reading is fundamental, and the earlier they start, the better. But not just any books. Ensure they have educational content or provide life lessons. Engage in meaningful vocabulary-building conversations. While you engage in daily conversations, introduce them to new words. Give them context clues and use these words in sentences. Let this be a fun and learning experience for you both. Try out safe at-home science or art projects. Children are naturally curious, so imagine how fun carrying out science experiments would be for them. Likewise, art projects. Expose them to outdoor activities. Let's bring back the days where we explored the great outdoors and connected with nature. Let's balance fun and learning this summer by following these tips on how to beat the summer slide.
We now turn to an event that brought the spirit of Jamaica to life during the 11th Biennial Jamaica Diaspora Conference.
As part of the 11th Biennial Jamaica Diaspora Conference, delegates were treated to an unforgettable cultural experience at Jamaica Night Street Vibes, a musical tribute to the greats, an evening dedicated to celebrating Jamaica's rich musical legacy, vibrant culture, and enduring connection with Jamaicans across the globe. The atmosphere came alive as delegates sang, danced, and paid tribute to some of Jamaica's most beloved musical icons. Conference delegates and dignitaries alike joined in the celebration, embracing the spirit, rhythm, and pride that define the Jamaican experience.
Jamaicans consume on average 9 to 12 grams of sodium or salt per day, twice the World Health Organization recommended amount of less than 5 grams or 1 teaspoon of salt, and more ideally, less than 2 grams of sodium per adult per day from all food sources. This excess salt in the diet causes high blood pressure, kidney and bone damage, gastric cancer, obesity, and worsening of asthma. Reduce the amount of salt you consume to no more than 3 to 5 grams, or half to 1 teaspoon per day for adults, and less than 2 grams for children under 11 years of age. Let's shake the salt habit and live healthy. A public service message from the Jamaica Information Service.
The children will be home for extended periods, and we know you want to keep them safe. But safety goes beyond locks and alarms. It also means reducing fire risks before they become emergencies.
The Jamaica Fire Brigade, JFB, is urging the public to invest in fire-smart technology. As technology advances, there is an increased emphasis on how individuals can utilize these innovations to create safer environments. Employing technology in fire safety not only enhances security, but also significantly reduces the risk of human error.
It allows for functions such as automated equipment monitoring for electrical and other faults to be automated. So it can man your electrical outlet, and it can tell you when there's a spike in the energy or an increase in your voltage, and it can shut the system down if it detects the power is above what is required, and that can prevent fire from occurring. It reduces the need for human intervention, which facilitate by the approaches of the uses of digital technology and reduce the life exposure to unsafe conditions.
The brigade also recommends integrating fire safety systems into existing home security setups at an affordable cost.
It's something that we want to encourage people to do, because when you look at the value of what you have in your homes, spending less than 50 or less than $100 to protect that value makes sense. When you have that fridge in your house that you pay over $700,000 for, you have that TV that you spend over $100,000 for, you have your stove and all of these things. When you have these things in your house, you can protect them. Most of these smoke detectors that you can use in your home cost less than $15 per one, and we're talking about smoke detectors which have testing capabilities.
Here are some fire smart systems to consider. 1. Smart fire extinguishers.
And you might be saying, how can a fire extinguisher be smart? The fire extinguishers that they're making these days, which are smart, if you remove the fire extinguisher from the stand, it automatically triggers the fire alarm system.
2. Smart outlet.
Devices that you must run 24 hours at your home, we recommend that you get them connected to a smart outlet. What the smart outlet does, it allows you to be able to turn off the outlet remotely. So if something happens and you need to turn that outlet off, you can just go on your phone and you can turn the outlet off.
3. Smart home hub and assistance.
So what we're saying, most of the first aid firefighting appliances that we're talking about now, you can connect them to your smart hub. So if you have a camera system and you connect it to Alexa, Siri, Google Home, the one hub can monitor these, because the way they make them, they are compatible with the major hubs that you have. So you can have one means of monitoring these smart devices, so you don't have to be going into different apps.
4. Smart fire alarm system.
These systems offer advanced fire detection capabilities, integrating smoke, heat, gas sensors with real-time monitoring. They can send alerts to building managers. So if you're running a commercial complex, you can tie these to your security company who manage or who monitor your premises for alert.
By investing in these technologies, individuals and businesses can significantly enhance their fire safety measures and protect their valuable assets. Don't forget, though, that in the event of a fire, it is crucial to contact emergency services immediately at 112 or 119.
We're at the end of today's edition of Jamaica Magazine. You can stay connected with us online at jis.gov.jm and on our social media platforms. On behalf of the entire production team, I'm Adrian Atkinson. Thank you so much for watching, and have yourselves a great weekend.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.